Hi everyone, I hope this video finds you happy, healthy, and safe. If you're new here, my name is Rhonda with Rhonda's Craft Frenzy. I hope you like what you see, and if you do, maybe you'll consider subscribing to my channel. That would be awesome. If you're not new, thank you so much for stopping back. You guys mean everything. It's so wonderful to have all you checking my stuff out, being with me. I hope that you try some of my stuff. That's the whole point, is to bring you inspiration to do your own. So without further ado, I'm going to continue in with my farmhouse home decor. So I'll beat you to the craft table. For my first one today, I started out with 44 large size building blocks and 20 of the smaller size. I mixed antique wax and water into a container. I put the blocks in that and swished them around so that all sides were covered. Once I had them all stained, I took them out and toweled them off just using paper towels. And then I set them aside to completely dry because if you don't, the glue will not stick. I've had that happen in the past. I used a sign from Dollar Tree. They have them in all shapes and sizes and for all seasons, so use whatever you have on hand, or you could even use a piece of board. I layered them out in a pattern using wood glue to attach them, and then I let that dry overnight. The next thing I did to it was I sanded it down a little bit. I wanted the sawdust from the sandpaper to fill in those cracks, but I didn't show you that on camera. I just wanted to fill all those cracks in. I then added another pretty thick coat of the wood glue over the top of the entire thing to seal it in. I spread it as best I could with a paint sponge brush, and then I also used my fingers just to make sure I got it all in those cracks. I wanted to have a smooth top on it. I grabbed some nautical rope at Dollar Tree and used this as my handle. I just cut them to the sizes I wanted at first. So the last thing I did was I knotted that nautical rope on each end and I hot glued them to the ends of the tray. You can use metal handles or you could use knobs, anything like that. You could get them at Walmart or a hardware store pretty cheap. But I was using what I had on hand. You cannot use the handles to pick it up with the hot glue, but it still looks pretty. I love it, and I hope you all do too. And on to my second one. I used a battery-operated candle that I picked up at Dollar Tree or Dollar General. I can't really remember. It's been sitting around for a while. And it was already white, but I needed it to lose that shine on it. So I added a coat of Rust-Oleum linen colored chalk paint. I tore off little pieces of tissue and I stuck it to the candle using Mod Podge. I did this and then I Mod Podged over the top of it as well, and I set it aside to dry. Once they were dry, I used truffle-colored chalk paint, and I went over all those parts of the tissue because I wanted it to look like where the branches would be cut off a birch tree. Then I used a cardboard, just a small piece of it. You could also use a credit card for this area, whichever. And then I made lines across it to look like the lines on a birch tree. And that was it. I hope you loved it, because I loved it. And here's my last one, and also the most versatile. I used a chunky mason jar, and I picked up these cute napkins I liked. Feel free to use whatever napkins you want, and cut it to fit. Then using that truffle color chalk paint again from Waverly's, I painted the cat part of it. Use any color that works for you in your own home decor. I ended up changing this thing several times, and in the end, I ended up going with the white, so it was all for nothing anyway. Once that paint was dried, I layered Mod Podge, and then I laid the napkin and smoothed it out on top of it as best I could, and then I added another layer over the top of that to seal it. And this is why I went with the white, because I wasn't sure you would see the spring sign if I used that dark brown color of paint. And the last thing I did was sand off the excess around the edges, and I hot glued a jute bow on it, and it was finished. It's super cute, and I love it paired with a little plant or on a tier tray. I appreciate you spending your time here with me, and I hope you found some inspiration in my video. Please consider subscribing to my channel, and if you saw something you like, hit that thumbs up button. Don't be shy with those comments. I hope to see you next time, and until then, keep those glue guns at the ready.